everyone, I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And welcome back to another color class. In today's color class, we are going to be diving into complementary colors and how it affects our daily lives.
Or, as I like to call it, color magic. Because the use of certain basic principles in color can create illusions. It can completely change the way the eye sees something. It's almost like, remember Harry Potter and the invisibility cloak? At the end of this video, we're going to show you a way that complementary colors can be used just like Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. So stick with us. But first, for those of you, and many of you have written us that you totally geek out on art history, this is a little something for you. And that is the use of the color wheel. The color wheel has been around for centuries. It goes back to 1704 when Sir Isaac Newton, that's the Apple guy, wrote a book called Optics. And I'm sure you studied in school or you've seen illustrations of Sir Isaac Newton working with a prism where light would shine through the prism, and he noticed that it created a rainbow, for lack of a better term, of colors. Then he started working on the optics of that, on different wavelengths of light that created different colors. And this went on for centuries, and color science is absolutely fascinating. But that's all you're going to get of the color science. Now we're going to move into art history a little bit and the use of complementary colors in art history. I referenced the color wheel a little bit earlier to give you a little more background for those of you who know nothing about this. The color wheel will show us what is complementary to what other color. So if you're looking at a color wheel, you'll notice that red, pure red, might be the complement of green. Or that.
And why is that?
They're directly across from each other. So naturally, graphics of color wheels are man-made. But there are nuances. It's affected by, like, if you were to go into the orangier side of the red on a color wheel, that complement may not be strictly green. It may be more of a blue-green. And then if you were to move directly into orange, you may find that the complement of that is not a blue-green. It's gone all the way into blue. So we tend to show color wheels as just deposited chunks of color, and I think that's what Sarah is getting at. It's not. It's nuanced. It's gradient. It's one color fading into the other, so that whether you're dealing with primary colors or tertiary colors, the complement is literally directly across the color wheel, but it may not be strictly all forms of red. The complement is all forms of green. It doesn't work that way. If it's a warm orange red, it's probably the complement is a blue-green. Having said that, there are still effects that occur with complementary colors. For example, eyeshadows. We recently did a video on the best eyeshadows for your eye color. And some of those choices were based on complementary colors of the pigment. So you may not see in the cake exactly the complementary color that would appear on the color wheel, but in the composition of the pigment that makes the cake of the eyeshadow, there might be some red in that mixture. And so if you're taking a plum that was made with red, then it would act in a complementary fashion on a green eye. Watch the video. I won't get into it here. You don't have to be strictly on point with your complementary colors, just directional. And in order to show you, to demonstrate that, I'm going to show you some famous painters and their masterpieces. So the first masterpiece we're going to show you is Liberty Leading the People, one of my absolute favorite paintings by Eugene Delacroix. And what I want you to notice here is that in his composition, he took the most important part of this painting, which is the flag that Liberty is using to lead the people, and he sat it on a field. Now, one would think, because there's all this smoke and clouds and whatever, that you would see smoke and clouds directly behind that orange flag, but you don't. What you see is he brought blue, which is the complement of this orange, back into the field. Granted, it's supposed to look like part of the cloud structure, the smoke structure, but the bottom line is he brought that blue in so that that flag would pop off the canvas, and it would be the first thing you see and the absolute focal point of this beautiful painting. If you guys have been watching us for any period of time, you'll know that I love the Impressionists. Mm-hmm. The Impressionists are just my favorite. And one of my absolute favorites is Claude Monet. Side point, just in case you want to know, anybody who's ever seen the immersive show of Van Gogh, which was absolutely to die for, I've heard that they're going to have an immersive show of Monet. I'm going to be first in line at that show because Monet is just genius. And so we get to look at a Monet painting again today. And in this particular painting, it's called Impression Sunrise. And what he wants you to see is the sun rising in this kind of hazy, soft environment. What did he do? Where did he use complementary colors in this painting to really get you to focus on the sun?
Well, it's the same in the last painting you showed us.
Exactly. He gave you a field of blue, the complementary color, to really make that pinpoint of orange stand out. And not just in the sun. Notice the reflection of the sun in the water. He did the same thing. He couched that orange in its complement, not so vividly. I mean, he softened it, but he still gave you enough of it so that you realize that that is the focal point of the painting. Mm-hmm. Another one of my favorites, Pablo Picasso. Now, I realize that his paintings are a little weird. And yes, they're weird to me too, and I consider myself an amateur art historian. One of the things I love about Picasso is that his artistry, his early artistry, he could absolutely draw anything, paint anything with absolute realism. I mean, exquisite realism. His craft was beyond reproach. Just incredible. And he said, as he moved into other phases of his paintings, that you have to know the rules. You have to really know and understand the rules. Then you're free to break the rules with the knowledge of the rules, in the back of your mind. And that's kind of a philosophy we have here at Color Class. I know I'm wandering off topic again, but it's really important that we reiterate that, mm-hmm. As you guys learn with us, we're going to teach you rules. We're going to teach you, I don't like that word, principles. And these principles, once you have them down, then you can use what you've learned to go off on your own, to break the rules, to be yourselves.
Because we break color rules
all the time. But here's the case where Pablo Picasso did not break a color rule. In terms of complementary colors. He juxtaposed blue against the orange, kind of rhythmically, to get your eye to skitter across this painting. This is not a Monet painting where you guys are like all soft and you're looking at it and you're getting all woozy and relaxed and just kind of reveling in the beauty of it. Mm-hmm. This painting is jarring and your eye skitters across it because he's juxtaposed that complementary color against complementary color. He's given you a little break from that. Complementary color against complementary color, and he's used lighter versions, more vivid versions, clearer versions, softer versions, but it's boom, 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 boom. And in one last painting, I'm going to show you a different way, more of a micro way to use complementary colors, and that is Henri Matisse, I should say. And in this particular painting, called The Red Studio, he used complementary colors to create energy. and rhythm. Pablo Picasso started that. You got this skittering effect across the painting. And that is, in fact, that is a type of energy, and it's also a type of rhythm. But in these paintings with Henri Matisse, it's like boom, 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 boom. Your eye is like popping, popping, popping all the way across the canvas. And he is leading you on a merry chase. And again, using red and green, orange and blue, different complementary colors, even a hint of, he's sort of hinting at yellow and purple, not in a vivid way, but definitely in the red and green and the blue and orange. And today, in our worlds, complementary colors are used all the time. You're probably seeing them every single day, all the time, and not even noticing that they're there to get you to react a certain way. What did you see today on your way into work? You saw traffic lights, red and green. Even in learning and settings in terms of communication, teachers can use color-coded materials in this red and green, the red folder, the green folder. Another great example is seasonality. I know that right now when I go into Target, a little bit off topic here, but they're already celebrating Memorial Day. And it's a little early. We get that when people are going into Christmas. What are the Christmas colors?
Red and green.
What
complementary colors.
Exactly. What are the Easter colors? Purple and yellow. Complementary colors.
I'm going to say I didn't know Easter was purple and yellow.
Well, Easter has expanded, but back in my day, and I imagine anybody who's out there who's about my age would know that, purple and yellow meant Easter, and red and green meant Christmas. And think about how many uniforms out there are in complementary colors. Granted, they're not as many as there used to be, but collegiate uniforms quite frequently.
My husband's a huge New York fan, so New York Mets, orange and blue, Los Angeles Lakers, purple and yellow. So yeah, a lot of teams are based off complementary colors.
And why do they do that? It's for impact. It's the way that they play off of each other, and and cultural expression. Look at flags. The Mexican flag, red, bar of white, yellow. So these things are around us all day long, every day, and using these complementary colors to kind of have us dance around like puppets. They're not controlling us, but they're controlling our reactions to things. And in beauty, and this is what I alluded to at the beginning of the video, that beauty actually uses complementary colors to make things disappear, like the illusionists do. Who was that illusionist who made it look like he made an entire airplane disappear? David. You guys put it in the comments below. I know you know who I'm talking about.
I'm not up on my musician or my
illusionists, magicians. Yeah, Copperfield. Thank you.
Oh, David Copperfield. Still don't know who that is, but I've heard the name.
Okay, I'm aging myself. Forgive me. But let me show you a beauty illusion that everybody can use, that everybody should be using. And that is the use of color correctors. And I know you see these out there and you're like, what are these things? They're yellow and they're green and they're purple. And how would I ever use that? Why would I ever use that? Mm-hmm. Because when you use these semi-transparent, and there are different formulas. There are color neutralizers that are the formula of a foundation. There are colors neutralizers that are powders. Predominantly, you see them in the form of cakes or creams. Mm-hmm. What would I use this yellow? Why would I use this yellow on my face? Okay, what's the complement of purple? Or what's yellow. The color? Yes. So if you want to make something that's purple disappear, a little bit of yellow will do the trick, and it will turn it into a flesh tone. And where do you have purple on your face? Maybe nowhere. But I know I have purple on my face under my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes like right here on your nose. I'm trying to think where other, if you have veins, like purple, not green tone veins, but sometimes veins can look a little purple. There.
Yeah, that's what makes the purple under your eyes, by the way. As you age, your skin becomes thinner and thinner, and the purple starts to become, it's really the veins that are working on your skin, but it looks purple. So when somebody says, oh, I have dark under eye circles, that's kind of a misnomer, because there are a couple of different ways you can have dark circles. But one of those ways, the thinning skin, use a little bit of yellow color corrector. When it's mixed together, as we show you in the illustration, what happens? It turns
neutralizes
skin color. And it like David Copperfield making that airplane disappear, you have made your purple disappear. For those of you with rosacea, and I've had a few people write to us about, having rosacea. Nothing works better for rosacea. Obviously, a medication that cures rosacea, that would be optimal.
That would work better.
But I'm not even sure there is such a thing. I don't know.
I'm sure there's some type of calming.
I know that the certain hydrocortisone medications will calm rosacea. But if you've got a rosacea breakout and you're getting ready to go do something today, nothing makes that disappear better and more effectively than a color corrector of green.
I use that tiger one around, because I have a lot of redness around here, and every single morning I have to use it right in here.
And what happens? You mix the green, which is slightly transparent, over the red, and those two mixed together, they make a flesh tone. It's kind of a miracle, right? And then those of us who have sallowness, some people can just have sallow skin, and they make powders that in yellow, in purple, and in peach, that are color correcting loose powders. I know that the banana color was famous for a long period of time because Kim Kardashian used the yellow color. It's called banana from a makeup artist studio. But they're out there. They're, as I said, the purple one can correct any sallowness. If you feel like, I'm looking, sallow means yellow. If you've got a yellow cast to the skin, sometimes people can be tired. Sometimes when their livers are overworked, like if you've been partying a little too much, you might come off having a little bit of a yellow cast, or when you're ill. Nothing works better than the color neutralizer in a purple.
And don't forget about peach as well. So if you use peach, really it's like an orangey-ish color. So you're trying to neutralize. Complementary color is going to be blue. So if you have like scarring, it's going to help brighten that a little bit with deeper skin tones.
And I forgot an important thing to tell you guys. In fashion, avoid complementary colors sitting next to each other, because they will vibrate. They will make people... Remember how we always say we want you to appear in the room and your clothes not to come into the room first, or we want you to be on notice? If you take a red jacket and you put it over a green dress, what will happen is those colors will be vibrating so vividly that you will disappear from the scene. So in the fashion world, and I should have mentioned this earlier, and thank you, that's another important...
Complementary colors arrive in a room before you do.
If they're juxtaposed right next to each other.
So I hope you've enjoyed today's video about complementary colors and learned just a little bit. Now, feel free to come along this color analysis journey with us. Please don't forget to subscribe, and we would love for you to hit that like button. It is so incredible how much love we are getting these days. We cannot believe it, and we just want to share with all of you. So please come along this journey with us. We would love to have you. Lastly, I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And this has been another color class, and we'll see you in our next video.